speeding bullets.
Hello, and welcome to my new review and kind of photo collection of the 2025 Comic Con. Um, every year I go to Comic Con, and I've been going to Comic Con now for, geez, well, since 1974, I think, yeah, 74. Um, and it's really changed a lot. When I first went, it was at a hotel at Shelter Island in San Diego, and it was just a room with a bunch of comic book collectors or sellers, and nothing really much more than that. It was very small. And every year it got bigger and bigger to where then it went to the San Diego Civic Center downtown. And, back in the day, you, I mean, back then it was like I worked downtown, and it was after work. I got off at 5. I just went to Comic Con, paid my $12 or $13, and showed up. And there was a line of about 15 people to get in, or 20 maybe at that time, and that's how we did it. And then once it went to the San Diego Convention Center, obviously it was bigger, but it was still one of those situations where you just went that day, and got your tickets. It wasn't a big deal where you needed your tickets 7 months in advance or 8 months in advance. So, a lot has changed, obviously. But nonetheless, it is kind of a different thing now. I remember when Comic Con began, and it continued throughout the years. It was kind of the counterculture, and there were just really specific people who were interested, and it went, for the most part, it went under the radar, and then maybe getting a little bit of press here and there, but nonetheless, it wasn't anything like it is now. But now it's mainstream, right? We all know that. And it's mainstream to the point where, people want to go just to be seen, or just to say, I went to Comic Con, because it's such an event here in San Diego. So, and I don't know how much I like that, but there's no getting around it, because it's become very corporate, you know, and um, and once things become corporate, things change. And when I say it's become corporate, what I mean is that the corporations kind of join in and do things and get involved. And once that happens, everyone wants to go there and see this person or that person, or this movie or that movie. So it changes. So it is what it is, but it's still a wonderful event. My only complaint is, since COVID, they don't put rugs on the floor anymore. I know it's a cost saving reason, but with all that walking, it sure would be nice to have carpet. I said rug. Carpeting, to kind of ease the pain on the feet. But it is what it is there. Um, I also, a lot of I'm I don't want to say I'm in the Mega 64 family, but I kind of am because Rocco's my son. So I was at the booth, for a few days. And I just want to, before I do anything, thank the Mega 64 fans for acknowledging me, talking to me, wanting pictures. I'm always willing to do that, of course. But they are so nice. They're the best fans in the world. And I mean, you guys know you are. And so I just want to give a shout out to the Mega 64 fans. I don't represent Mega 64. My views are independent of Mega 64. They don't reflect anything of Mega 64, but I'm just saying um, that you guys are awesome. And the way you guys treat the gang and the way you treat me is awesome. So, shout out to you guys. Seriously. With that, um, so the 2025 Comic Con, you know, there's, there's not as much star power anymore at at Comic Con, and a lot of the studios have backed off. Um, Financial reasons, obviously. Also, and this kind of bugs me, but I understand, and that is, a lot of the events are outside of the Comic Con now. And so I know it's designed for the people who don't have badges, who aren't able to get in. And so this is an event that everyone, whether you have a badge or not, can enjoy. And I understand that. But, I never, and a lot of people, don't ever make it out to that area. So, they don't get to see some of these awesome uh, things that are out there in, the park or across the street from the convention center. If a lot of these things were inside the convention center, of course, it'd be more accessible. But I get it, you know. Uh, they're not limiting their exposure to, first of all, the confines of the convention center because you'd only have so much real estate there to show whatever you want to show or build whatever you want to build. So that enables them to do something in a more grander scale, but also it gives them the opportunity to uh, probably uh, enjoy a lot more traffic. So, with that, I get it. I don't necessarily like it, but I get it. So, um, but there's enough for everybody. But I just wish there was more stuff inside the convention center. I remember during Walking Dead, they rebuilt the entire set of, when Negan, uh, well, uh, lined them all up in front of the trailer. And, then the tower they rebuilt. And all those things were really awesome. And they don't really do that kind of stuff anymore inside. It's all on the outside. So, that's, like I said, I wrestle with that. I've worked in business for many years, and I understand the reasoning behind it. So, but nonetheless, I digress. Anyway, it was packed. The people, the attendees are so nice and they're so gracious. I know most of them are really happy to be just happy to be there, and so that's that. But they're just awesome, and it's just amazing. So this was a good Comic Con. It was a lot of fun. I didn't run into anybody? Oh, one person. We were at the elevator from the parkade, and we were waiting for the elevator, me and Nancy, and this guy walks up, and he goes, "How you guys doing today?" We go, "Oh, yeah, we're good, you know." My wife looks at him and says, "You look familiar." And he says, "I get that a lot." She looks at him again. "You're the Black Ranger, the Power Rangers." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm I'm the Black Ranger." And well, he was impressed, but I was impressed. And I even think Nancy was impressed that she recognized him. But she asked for a picture with him, and he goes, and we got in the elevator, and he goes, "Why don't we take the picture inside here?" Because from what I understand, he really, he's uncomfortable with all that. And so inside the elevator, Nancy took a picture of him, them together. But he was pretty impressed that this older person knew the Black Ranger. But my kids, we were brainwashed, indoctrinated into the Power Ranger scene for many years, and in some ways still are. So that was a good story. Anywho, so what I'm going to do now is show some pictures and videos that I took at Comic-Con, and I hope you enjoy them. Not a lot, I got to get my act together when it comes to doing all this. I'm still in the say embryonic stage of these videos. So as I move along and figure things out, I promise I'll get better. I promise. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoy the videos and the pictures. I enjoy your comments. Please, more comments. Tell your friends. This is, I'm going to say one thing that was interesting. I can't remember who said it, but I know. But when they say, they kind of complained about a comedian or an entertainer saying, "Hey, you tell me what you want to hear." And they said, when someone says that, that means they don't have anything to say, and they're not creative, and they want their audience to work for them, so to speak, and tell them what they want. And that's not the case. I promise you, that's not my case where I don't have anything to say, because I've always got a lot to say. But I really want to be at the point where we have kind of a back and forth and an agreement where, hey, you guys want this? Okay, I'll do this. And you guys want that? I'll do that. I've got plenty to say, and I've got plans of other videos and talks and whatnot that will continue. But if any of you said, hey, why don't you do this? And I haven't thought of it, that's awesome. Someone mentioned, why don't you review the Paul McCartney releases after the Beatles? And so I'm doing that. And I might have got to it eventually, but I didn't think of that right away. So it's just, like I said, if you want to hear something or me talk about something, let me know. And I'll do my best. Okay? So enjoy. And until next time.
Thankfully, I don't want like two jumps. Yeah, what do you look for at this party? Yeah, that's all I got to do. A little time is coming. Oh, this year? Well, okay. Well, online is casting, whatever there. So. Oh my God. This is right now. Yeah.
Is this line cap?
Yes! Bob, how angry are you?
This angry. No more.
To the Batmobile. Let's go.
Website.
Atomic batteries to power.
This is tomorrow's
Turbines to speed. Ready to move out.
But besides that, this is Ron Hall. And then myself, right? And then I guess it's and I don't even know your name, Jay. So, well, no, it hasn't happened yet. I haven't asked yet, but I appreciate you guys. Awesome booth, and we're back and more stuff.
Not at all.